Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are discussing about the Threat Dragon tool demo. Okay, agenda, terminologies and definitions which is required for this tool, Threat Dragon overview, Threat Dragon tool demo, benefit of the Threat Dragon tool, sample report, how to create and how to download the report. That aspect we can see today. Okay, terminologies and definition. Terminologies CIA nothing but confidentiality, integrity, availability, pride, spoofing, tampering, reputation, information disclosure, denial of service, elevation of privileges. Linden, linkability, identifiability, non-reputation, detectability, disclosure of information, unawareness, non-compliance. Okay, Threat Dragon tool overview. What is Threat Dragon? Threat Dragon is a open source threat modeling tool from OWASP. Why Threat Dragon? We can use this tool to execute the threat modeling for any of the application, IoT solutions, cloud, devices, mobile application. We can do the threat model using this tool. Benefits: identify, track, and update the threats across the software development lifecycle. Open source and no cost for this tool. Reference, this is the reference URL. You can get more materials from the OWASP top 10. Okay, this is the sample diagram we need to create using Threat Dragon tool, and we need to identify the threats and we need to download the report. This aspect we can discuss today. Okay, once you reach out this OWASP URL, you can get this web page from the internet. You can get more details about the Threat Dragon here. Suppose if you want to install, you can go to the installation, and currently I am using the Windows based 64-bit installer. So if you want to download, you can go to this GitHub. Here you have the installation packages. You can download from the. Okay, I already downloaded and installed in this machine. We can start our demo now. Okay, I have installed already the Threat Dragon tool, desktop version tool. I am starting the tool now. Okay, once you start the Threat Dragon, you can get this page. Here you can see open an existing threat model. Here you can create the new threat model. Here you can explore a sample model. So three options will be there. So currently we need to create the new threat modeling. So we need to click in this option. Also here you can see the threat model files, edit, view, windows, help. Suppose if you see the version, this is the current version I am using, 161. I am starting the modeling now. Once we start, we need to give the modeling name. I will give like new model 3. I will save. So once you save, you can get this option. Okay, here we need to create new threat model. That is why I am selecting the new, I am clicking the new threat model here. Otherwise you can give the edit button also. Suppose if we give the edit button, again same, you can give the title. Example, I will give the web application. And owner I will give my name. Reviewers, I will give my users. High level system description. We need to create the modeling for web application. So some high level you can give the information. I already given this information which I created a sample diagram. So I will use the same description. This is a web application and have the server component Tomcat web server, PostgreSDB, server-side configuration files, data analytics algorithm and libraries, client-side scripting libraries. This application is handling the medical data like EPHI and P2I data. Also, this application is accessible over the internet. So, these sample details I given in the high-level system description. And the contributors, suppose if you want, you can add. I will give again my users. I will add. Okay, once we give, you can see here one option is there in the diagrams. You can see add new diagram. You can click it here and you can give the diagram name here. Example, again I will give the web application. I will add. Then I will save it here. So once we click the save button, you can see we given the web application for the diagram. So default diagram is created. Also one more input I need to give here. Again I will go to edit. Suppose if we want to change any descriptions or any owner name, reviewer's name, contribution names, you can modify and you can save accordingly. Okay, this is the default diagram created. You can click this diagram. Once you click, this is the actual UI to create the diagrams. Here you can see some of the options. Default it is there. Stride nothing but it is a methodology to categorize the identified threads, right? And CAA also one of the methodologies to categorize the threads. CAA nothing but we already saw confidentiality, integrity, availability. Linden also another popular methodologies. We can categorize the threats and privacy engineering details using the Linden methodologies. Default I will use the stride methodologies to create the diagram. Here you can see two options is there. One is edit diagram, another one is manage threads. Suppose if you expand the edit diagram, process, store, actor, data flow, trust boundary, these symbols are available. Suppose if you want to create a sample diagram, you can double click and you can double click for another diagram. You can get, now you can see two diagrams are there. I need to give the process. So this is the process. You can give the process. Then store, I need to create the database. So this is the database I need to use. Again, we'll delete this. Okay, so here this is the actors. You can, suppose if you want, you can edit the descriptions. Example, actor 0. So instead of actor 0 I will put user and I will give the description low privileged user. Low privileged user group. Okay, it should be in the scope, so I will not click the out of scope button. Suppose if you want to make this module as out of scope, we can click it here. Okay, provides authentication, I will click. This is the properties we set. So we set users, it is appearing as user. Okay, I will take the next actor. Here I will give like administrator. This is high privileged user group, and this also in scope, so I will use this provide authentication. I will check the authentication. Now the administrator is coming here. Then this is the web server, so I will give web server. Then I want to store some configuration files also here, so I will give server configuration files. Description, I will give server configuration files to store backend service credentials. So this also in the scope. Here you can see is a log, it is configuration file, so I will not check this log provisions. Store credentials, yes, it store credentials. Store inventory, yes, it stores inventory. Is encrypted, I will keep no encryption and no sign, so I will not check these two button. Okay, next you can go to the database. Here you can see, here you can modify the database name. You can give descriptions like a database server. I will make this as scope. So is a log? No. Stores credentials? Yes. Stores inventory. So assume that currently it is not encrypted, not signed. So this is the basic diagrams. Now we need to create the data flow in between the components. So here you can see the data flow. If you double click, you can get the data flow here. Otherwise, you can go and you can click the link from here. You can click the link from here. Once you click, you can select, I need to create the link from these two here. So I will click the web server. Then I need to change this data flow property. So I will go, the name I will give like HTTP request. You can give low privileged HTTP request. Then I need to create the HTTP response here. So again, I will click the link from here. It is selected. Then I will select the component. So this is HTTP request and HTTP response. So you can set the properties by clicking this button. I will give HTTP response. Description you can give. Is encrypted, is over public network. Yes, I will put public network. Timing I will leave not in. Timing I will leave. Is encrypted button is without check. Okay, again we need to create the link from here to web server. You can click here and so we can change the property. HTTP request again I need to create the link from this server to administrator in HTTP response, and I need to change the properties by clicking this button. I will make like HTTP response. If you want, you can give the description. I will keep this is over public network and not encrypted condition. Okay. Then I will give the link from here again. This is like file read, file write from the web server. Okay. Then the database from web server to database. You can click the link from here again, double click, and you can select this component so that you can create the link. And from here to web server, you can click this. So this is like DB query, DB response. Then I will set the trust boundary by clicking this symbol. Suppose if you want to change the property, you can go and you can click the start button. You can click this button and you can give public or internet trust boundary. Okay, now created the data flow diagram, and again we need to create now we can start to create the threads. We can minimize this diagram button, and we can take manage threads. You can select component one by one, and you can add the threads here. Example, I will add then I will give this is the spoofing related attack, so I will give spoofing. Then I will give the description. An adversary can get sensitive data from the web client cache if the application does not set proper HTTP cache related response headers. So we can give the description like that. And mitigation you can give like it is recommended to proper HTTP response header on the server side. I will give the sample, and priority you can set, and you can set the priority for the threads, whether this is high, medium, low. In this demo I will give this priorities high, and thread status not applicable, open, mitigated. I will keep this as open state. Suppose if it is already addressed and mitigated, you can update the status accordingly. Sometimes if it is not applicable, you can select the not applicable. Okay. Once you update the thread details, you can save. So if you save, it will appear in the manage threads category. You need to select this component, and you can see the thread details. Suppose again, if you want to edit, you can go to here and open. Suppose if you want to modify something, you can modify, and you can save it again. So this is what we need to create the thread. In the sample demo, I already created the thread. Straight away I will go and open the already saved project. So I will give open. This is my sample project, new model 2 JSON. You can open that. Suppose if you want to save the existing project, you can save here by clicking this button. It is saved, and you can close and return button. You can click. Whatever data we given, it is saved in here. You can again go and edit whatever updates you want, you can do that. Okay, other provisions also are there. Duplicate and selected element, then suggest thread for the selected element. Suppose if you want, you can select and delete it using this symbol. Okay, so this is what basically we need to create the data flow diagram. Once it is created, you can close and return. Suppose if you want to report, you can download the report also. Save PDF format. If you want to save, you can click this button. Also here you can see show out of scope element. I checked here. Suppose if we given some of the out of scope in the diagram section, if we want to uncheck, it will not appear in the report. Show mitigated threats. I'm checking that. Include threat model diagram. You can give these details based on your requirement. Then you can save in the PDF format. So you can give the PDF report name. Example, I will give new model 3. I will give. So I am saving now. Suppose if you go to the report, you can see Threat Dragon. I saved new threat model 3. Suppose if you open, you can see the PDF report here. And this is the high level system details we given. And this is the data flow diagram we derived. So details are available here. Okay, to understand more threads from this sample, I already created the threads list. I will open now. I would like to give some of the details before closing the existing diagram. So this is the diagram we created. Here you can see. Okay, suppose if you want to update the thread for each and every component, specifically you can select and you can go to manage thread and you can create the threads details by clicking add a new thread. Also the stride per element thread also we have. If required, you can use this provisions also. Okay, generic spoofing thread. This category is spoofing. It is open. Description, mitigation. Now I will accept this. And this is second default thread. The tool is identified. This is not applicable, so I will ignore this. Now you can see the threads are updated here. Meantime, we have third option also, thread within the context. So if required, you can update these threads and you can follow the status also, whether it is mitigated or not, if it is required. So timing, I am ignoring these options. Once the threads are identified for the process, you can see the details here. Since this is high priority, so it is in the red color. This is medium priority, so this is like orange color. Okay, you can click this button. You can click the data flow. Example, if you click here, it will highlight. It is selected and it is highlighted, right? If you want to add the threads, you can add. Example, I will add title like spoofing category. I will select spoofing and it is open. I will give high priority details. Okay, description. An adversary can execute the spoofing attack if the channel does not encrypt over the network. So here TLS implementation. So it is in the open, it is not mitigated. I will save so that it is saving here. Again, you can save, you can go. If required, you can create one more time report also. I have already created project. I will open that. Okay, this is the sample diagram, same diagram I already created. Here the difference is I updated more threads here. Okay, suppose if you go select the process and go to thread, manage threads, these are all the possible threads I identified. Again, if you select the HTTP request, if you see the threads details, you can see this is the threads available. So here you can save diagram and come back, go to report, save as PDF. I will give like 5. Suppose if you open the new application threads, these are all the threads I have updated in the database, server side database, the description, and this is the thread description. An adversary can spoof the data if the data doesn't encrypt and store the DB. Okay, mitigation, strong encryption and store the data. So more threads you can identify in the list. I will attach this report also for further reference in the YouTube channel. If required, you can refer this threads list. One more input finally. Again, if you come to the, again, if you go to return, if you click, assume that this process, you can go to the manage thread. If you see, assume that I mitigated this thread. So currently it is in the open condition. You can give mitigated if it is mitigated and save it. Once you save, you can see the green color tick mark. Meantime, if you save and download the report once again, this is the new report. You can see this is the low privileged user thread spoofing. It is mitigated. So the status is updated. So first we need to identify all possible threads and we can track the status whether it is mitigated or open using the tool itself. So this is what practically we need to use this tool. We can identify all possible threads and we can update in the diagram and we can track whenever the mitigation is done. You can update and you can generate the new report. Okay friends, I done the session for the day. I hope you got some clarity about the Threat Dragon tool. I will meet you in next session. See you. Bye.